Sukima Onna, The Girl in the Gap, Japanese horror legend. In every home, nestled within its walls are tiny spaces so narrow that not even a wisp of thread could pass through. But what if something sinister lurked within those tiny gaps, waiting for you? Isamu, a 25-year-old man, resided in the lively city of Osaka, Japan. Recently, he moved into the new house, yet from the day he arrived, an unsettling feeling began to creep over him. It was a persistent sensation, an unshakable belief that he was never alone, that unseen eyes followed his every move. But he was still residing all by himself in that house. At first, Isamu dismissed these unsettling feelings as figments of his imagination, but with each passing day they grew stronger. It didn't matter where he was in his new home or what he was doing. The eerie presence persisted. During dinner, as darkness descended, he could swear that someone was watching him from behind the dining room curtains. Even in the bathroom, he felt as if someone was watching him from beneath the bathroom door. And every day, in the dead of night, he sensed two pale eyes piercing the darkness. Becoming increasingly disturbed, Isamu set out to uncover the mysterious entity haunting him. He inspected the spaces hidden behind the curtains, convinced that someone was watching him from within the walls. He peered into the narrow gaps, suspecting unseen eyes observing him from beneath his bed. He even investigated beneath the couch, convinced that the watchful presence lurked beneath the sofa. But he found nothing. As Isamu's relentless pursuit of the unseen continued, it took a toll on his sanity. He abandoned everything else and became obsessed with finding what was going on. He gave up everything else and became fixated on finding the elusive ghost. Day and night, he combed through every corner of his house. He started marking off areas where he couldn't find the entity and would then tape the gap. His house soon became covered in tape. Isamu isolated himself from the outside world, locking himself within his four walls. After several days, his concerned colleagues went to his house, questioning why he hadn't been at work. They were shocked to find Isamu lying on the floor, trembling and weeping. When questioned about the matter, Isamu disclosed that he was confined indoors under the influence of a wicked spirit, a girl who frightened him and prevented him from leaving the house. If he disobeyed her, she would succumb to loneliness and she would get really angry at Isamu. And when that happens, she will take away Isamu's life. His friends found it very strange and inquired about which girl he was referring to and where she was at present. Isamu pointed to the gap between the dressing table and the wall, but his colleagues saw nothing there. Isamu insisted that the girl was trapped there between the dressing table and the wall. His colleagues approached the narrow space to dispel Isamu's fears. However, what they witnessed there sent shivers down their spines. Amidst the approximately 5-centimeter gap between the dressing table and the wall, there was a girl in a red dress with long hair, staring at them incessantly. She looked extremely frightening. Suddenly, her hands emerged from the gap, her nails sharply pointed. Gradually, she began to emerge from the gap, leaving Isamu's colleagues utterly terrified. Disturbed, his colleagues left his house immediately. After that day, Isamu disappeared without a trace. The fate of Isamu remained a mystery, but following that strange encounter, his colleagues who had witnessed the apparition in those hidden gaps could no longer bear to look into even the tiniest gaps in their own homes, as they would always see the spirit of the same girl. Over the course of several months, they began to disappear one by one. Eventually, all those who were acquainted with Isamu vanished. Though we don't know what happened to Isamu and his colleagues, the spine-chilling legend of the Sukima Onna lives on. Sukima Onna, or the Girl in the Gap, is believed to dwell in the crevices of Japanese households. For those who come across her, she transports them to an alternate dimension from which escape is impossible. The method of evading her grasp remains a mystery, for seeking help from others only invites her, sealing their fate as well. So if you ever find yourself in a Japanese home and feel like you are under constant surveillance, remember this warning. leave that place immediately. For if Sukima Onna has targeted you, your life hangs by a fragile thread. If you like this story, then do subscribe to our channel Bloody Monday and keep watching for more spine-chilling horror stories.